Today we're taking a first look at this killer hardtail from the UK, a Bird 029. My buddy at the Bike Bondsman, a small shop in San Antonio, Texas, finds unique hardtails to send me. This bird is very unique. It's made in the UK, it's a 29er, and the more I look at this, the more cool stuff I see. He knows what I like, and this has so many things that I like. Full external cable routing, post mount. I love external routing that goes along the bottom of the top tube and the seat stays. That's a great way to run it. They're shorter cables, it's a straighter line. Beautiful looks, this wild fluorescent yellow pop with the purple accents. ISCG tabs, this thing has all the makings of a fantastic hardtail. I remember when I got my Banshee Paradox V3 in, that bike raised my expectations of what's possible with a hardtail. It blew out of the water anything else I'd ridden. And this reminds me a lot of it in look and shape and kind of some of the features that are going on. Let me show you a couple close-ups of just some unique stuff that's going on here. Check out this super intriguing yoke with these kind of holes in there. I think it's just beautiful. And sometimes that can reduce vibration, which we often see on an aluminum frame. Beautiful ISCG tabs. Look at those welds. Beautiful welds. Aluminum is hard to weld. Same thing here with these dropouts. We got some material removed, probably for weight, but I'm hoping it also reduces vibration. So one design tip I would give to frame companies when designing is keep this straight, land it ahead of the bottom bracket like we did on the Maniac, and make there be a pass-through tube in there so when you got your internal cable routing, it stays in the down tube and goes in there. Now this is full external, so it's going to come down here and then pop in right here. That means we need the little rubber grommet. Hate those little rubber grommets. I think it'd be better if this could be totally straight and then the dropper were internal in there. I'm getting super nitpicky and super personal preference-y, so you don't need to do that, but this is what I like on designs. They've done so many great things. Man, these welds just look fantastic. This thing is absolutely stunning, and it doesn't capture it very well on camera. Just the tubing profiles, like this ovalized thin gusset right here. Just every tube looks really painstakingly designed, and it's got, I mean, just right here, like the top tube, this is aluminum, not carbon. It tapers down as it gets close to the seat tube. There's been a lot of thought put into this. I've never ridden a Bird, but I'm super thrilled to ride one now. This thing looks top notch. Frame weight came in at 4.61 pounds, which is super light for an aluminum rowdy hardtail like this. Also looking at the Geo, I don't think it's overly rowdy. It's not like those 62 degrees shredder things where we have a hard time finding terrain where it really wakes up. Super cool that it's made in the UK as well. I love seeing that. One of these days I need to go to the UK. I'd love to travel the world with bikes. I haven't found a way to make it happen. But one of these days I do want to go to the UK and meet so many of you. I have so many fans in the UK that watch this channel. If I come to the UK, where should I go? I want to hear in the comments below. Where's the great riding near you? And would you meet up for a hardtail party there if I did make it out there? Let's get this thing built up and then we'll measure it and geek out a little bit more on it. Ooh, that's gonna clash with the purple, but if there weren't so much purple on it, that'd be pretty rad. Black helm, oh, that's gonna look good too. I've currently got 2 4s on here, but I think we're gonna fit 2 6s. But just because we're weird on this channel, we're gonna see if we can fit 3 O's. If you benefit from knowing what tire size fits in these frames and it benefits you, nobody's doing this but Hardtail Party. It takes a lot of equipment, a lot of different wheels, takes a lot of time, it's a little bit of a pain, but I find this sort of thing super interesting. If it helps you out, consider kicking me a few bucks on Buy Me a Coffee down below or becoming a patron. Bird doesn't pay me to review this bike, and so I rely on my patrons and my donations, oh my goodness, to make this possible. So yeah, if this is beneficial to you, consider kicking me a few bucks. Man, if every subscriber I had sent me $2 a year, hope you get at least $2 of value out of my content, it would completely change this for me. It's been a good year for lots of tire clearance. Now this is a 3.0 on a 45i rim. it's not rubbing, but the wheel's gonna flex into it, so I wouldn't run this, but I wanna show you. This is the hardest area when designing a bike. You got the chainring here, tire here, and you need a piece of metal in there. We've got like 3 mil clearance over there, 3 mil clearance over there. But a 2.6 is gonna fit just fine. I'm really excited to ride this thing. It was a joy to build. External cable routing. Granted, we're running wireless dropper and wireless derailleur shifter, so the only cables are the brakes, which should always be external in my opinion anyway. We have some really cool parts on this, but this whole build came in at 29.0 pounds. That is impressive for a heavy reverb axis dropper. Axis drivetrain. Let's see, there's nothing else really heavy on here. I got these Crank Brother Mallet DH, the downhill pedals. Those are kind of heavy. Let's walk through the parts I've got on here. A Wheels Manufacturing purple angular contact bottom bracket here. Love those bottom brackets. For cranks, I'm running 165 mil 5-dev cranks. I've got a 5% off discount code for all things 5-dev. They make awesome stuff out of California. Love these cranks. Running an absolute black oval, 32 tooth oval in purple. It matches the purple of this awesome neon yellow paint job. The paint job's really cool. The clear coat's kind of weird. I keep getting grease smudges on it, and rubbing alcohol and my normal spray won't get it off. I have to use brake cleaner, which is weird. It's kind of hard to clean, kind of weird. Another weird thing going on is we've got dual cable mounts on top of the down tube, which makes no sense because the only cable routing that's going here is a dropper. And whether you're in the UK or the US, your dropper is always on the left side, no matter your brake setup. So it's kind of weird to me that we've got dual cable guides here. That's really weird. I'm betting that was a fluke and they shouldn't be on the non-drive side. Kind of weird. I'm running Axis Eagle GX. That saves me a ton of time not having to route cables, although it wouldn't have been a pain at all on here. Cable routing's all where I would want it to be, underneath the top tube and underneath the seat stays. Brake routing came out super clean. I'm running SRAM code RS brakes. I love the codes. I'm running Freedom Coast levers on here. I thought I'd try those out. They don't change the feel of the codes. They just kind of bling out your bike a little. So I could have gone purple levers to match this, but I think there is such a thing as too much matchy-matchy. And I didn't want to run my purple 5-dev cranks. I thought it'd be a little too much, and purple levers would have been a little too much. I think there's just the right amount of purple, black, and chrome on this. For wheels, we're running the Spinergy MMX 30 wheels. I love these wheels. These wheels have a foam core inside them, kind of like Spank Vibro core. And then they've got these spokes that are really like hundreds of these tiny little fibers, and they feel a lot like bird spokes. I'd say they're even more muted and they reduce chatter even more than bird spokes. I've also got a discount code for these for all of you guys as well. Use the link below. Big fan of these wheels. I would run them on all my bikes if I had enough pear for them and if they made something wide enough for my 2.6s. Anyway, these are 30i rims. Really smooth, quiet, damped feel to it. Very, very similar to the Zip 30 Motos, and they're lighter and they're cheaper. So really cool stuff going on there. Running a Cane Creek helm, my all-time favorite fork on here. We're running 1-up bars with a 9.8 stout stem. For pedals, I'm running the Crank Brother Mallet. These are their downhill pedal. I like the Mallet Ease or the Enduro pedal. I also like the downhill ones. I like both of them. These have a little bit more grip. They're a little bit harder to get out, but you're stay in a little bit more. Anyway, I've been a big fan of the Crank Brothers Mallet pedals lately. If you ever need help, like picking my brain or building your bike or wondering how to upgrade a bike you just bought, I do that over on Patreon. I have a bike consultation tier where I can work with you to help you pick the right components for your needs and budget and maximize, you know, say, should I put it all in brakes or should I put it all in a fork or should I put it all in wireless drivetrains? I'd be happy to walk you through that. And it's kind of a back and forth where I learn about your needs and your budget and what you want. And then I make personalized recommendations for what you need. I do that over on Patreon. Let's get this thing on the geometer. It's time to measure it to see what these actual angles look like in real life. All right, rear center, 435. Oh, a little bit longer rear center. Kind of reminds me of a Yelly Screamy, how it's like 130, but still like modern angles, and it looks like it's meant to be ridden hard and charge on. We'll see how it responds. Reach is 432. Very interesting. So the rear end's actually longer than the reach. That should mean I shouldn't need to get over the front to weight it. It should naturally weight it. We'll see how it rides. Some people really like that feel where it's about the same in the rear center and the reach. It kind of gives you a neutral riding feel, so you don't really have to think or wait or get forward or anything. You just kind of sit neutral and ride a little bit lazy, and it just kind of drifts both wheels evenly. We'll see how it rides. That's my theory, at least. Front center is 768. Wheelbase is right at 1200. Oh, we got a 72 mil bottom bracket drop. This thing is probably going to be very stable at speed. And because the bottom bracket's so low, that means we've got a tall 647 stack. That's tall for a 130 mil fork. Man, this thing looks slack. That looks slack too. Let's measure those angles. All right, effective seat tube angle, 74.4. Not super modern, but not super slack. Head angle, I'm gonna guess 64. Let's see. 63.3. No. 63.4. My goodness, that's slack. Well, we'll see how it rides. That was surprising. I mean, when you look at the geo chart online, it's not surprising. It matches the geo chart pretty close, but 63.4 degree head angle with a 130 fork. You know what this geo reminds me of? So that's some pretty wild geometry. This thing reminds me a little bit of the Yelly Screamy, but more like a Pipe Dream Sirius. Short travel, 130, but still super slack. This has the longer rear end, low bottom bracket. I have a feeling this thing's gonna be stable and rail corners like no other. I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot of confidence on this too. With that low bottom bracket, we got the tall stack, and so I'm not gonna feel hunched over, hopefully. This is a size medium. I'm 5'6" with a 28-inch inseam. That's part of why I like 165 cranks and fewer pedal strikes as well. I am so excited to get this thing on the trail. There's always something a little bit special about all the UK hardtails I've ridden, and I've got a feeling this thing's gonna be special too. Make sure you're subscribed so you're notified when the ride review drops of this, because I have a feeling it's gonna be unlike any other hardtail out there. But we'll see. Sometimes these numbers, I have an assumption of what it's gonna ride like, and it rides nothing like them. Sometimes the numbers tell it exactly how it rides. Huge shout out to the Bike Bondsman for sending this frame in. You guys can order these through him. I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and geeking out on hardtails with me. There's a party in the mountains, and you're invited.